तुषाराद्रिसङ्काशगौरं कबीरं मनोभूतकोटि प्रभाश्रीशरीरं स्फुरन्मौलिकल्लोलिनी चारुगङ्गा लसत्फालबालेन्दुकण्ठे भुजङ्गा.
A warm welcome to all the devotees. On Raksha Sutra English, we are going to narrate wonderful holy stories to all the devotees from the book Miracles of Love by Ramdas Ji, an exclusive devotee of Maharaj Ji. Please listen carefully, all the devotees. I went up to Ned's office again and telephoned Nicole. She said there was still no expansion of the smallpox program, but that something had happened that day. The chief of the global smallpox program had come from Geneva. She suggested I come to meet him. I went to meet him, and of course he was that man in the doorway whom I had just told I would be working for WHO, and it was his program I was going to work for. He interviewed me and wrote a note for the record. This young man seems to like foreign cultures and will probably do very good international work someday. However, he has no experience in public health, no training past internship, and I wish him good luck in the future. We have no job for him. What he said to me was that WHO could not hire me for several reasons. First, I had no public health training. I had never ever seen a case of smallpox. Second, because of political tensions, the government of India preferred at that time not to have Americans working in India. Third, they had not yet really geared up the program for smallpox eradication in India. Smallpox had been eradicated in all but 4 countries, but the strategy was to work on the other 3 first and then come to India. That was it. He added that there was a smallpox program in Pakistan, and if that interested me, I had best give it some more thought. I paused and sheepishly said, I am going to have to ask my Guru. I went back to Maharaj Ji. When he asked if I got the job, I said no, but there's a possibility of a job in Pakistan. He yelled back, no, I said India. So I telephoned back to WHO and told Nicole my Guru insisted I work for WHO in India. That must have amused her, but she was polite as usual and thanked me for calling. After 2 months of this, Girija and I were exhausted and frustrated. We decided to take a vacation from it all in Kashmir. As we were leaving the ashram, I called Nicole at WHO and told her our plans. If by any chance a job comes through, I said, please call me in Srinagar. You know, she said, a very strange thing just happened. I suddenly had this inspiration. I don't know, maybe it's your Guru or something like that, but can you write? Yes, I said I would edited some medical journals. Well, you know, we can't really hire you as a smallpox doctor, but if you are really that determined to work for WHO, maybe I could hire you as an administrative assistant. Look, anything. Maharaj Ji said I am going to work for you and I am going to go to villages and give injections. He's never been wrong. She changed my application from that of a doctor to that of an administrative assistant and sent a telegram to D.A. Henderson, the program chief in Geneva, Switzerland. I am going to hire Brilliant. She suddenly really wanted to hire me and put the application through. Still, WHO had not created a post in her unit. After our vacation in Kashmir, we returned to Kanchi, and Maharajji's first smiling question, "Did you get your job yet?" "No, Maharajji, it's really very complicated." Again, he had me go back to Delhi. It was 10 times now that I would gone back and forth like a yo-yo, each time putting on Burman's suit and that awful tie. When I got to WHO, I found that my application as an administrative assistant had been approved, but that I would still have to pass a security clearance. Every American working for WHO must have one. When I got that piece of paper for a security clearance, I knew this was the end of the game. There seemed no chance in the world that I could get a security clearance. We had been part of the left-wing anti-war movement in the States. I would been a leader of a radical organization, the Medical Committee for Human Rights. There was absolutely no chance for a security clearance. I came back to Kanchi feeling terrible. I explained all this to Maharajji and said that there maybe have been a lot of stumbling blocks up till now, but this was the last straw. Maharajji said, "Oh, who is the person who is supposed to give you this job?" I couldn't remember precisely who, but I mentioned that Henderson was the boss. Maharajji pretended to be a real fakir. Fakir means sadhu. He sat up straight and put his blanket arm up before his face and asked, "How do you spell his name?" I started spelling it. "Wait," he said, and then he began repeating the letters slowly in a deep voice. He peeked out at me through his fingers, which were covering his face. Laughing all the time, he continued spelling the name, and he pretended to go into a trance, always peeking at me to be sure I was watching and properly impressed, but giggling as he did so. Remaining story will be narrated to all devotees in next episode. To listen the wonderful holy stories of Maharajji, please like, share, subscribe the channel, and don't forget to ring the bell icon. Write in the comment box Jai Neem Karoli Babaji Maharaj and Jai Ramdas Ji. Thank you.